What is good? Welcome to another episode of Rose City Sports Talk. Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones.
Cheers to my people.
That's right.
Bam.
Jake, the Hammer Hummel.
The hammer.
The hammer.
The Hammer. Say what up, Jake. How are you doing?
Hello, Parlin. Hello.
Where's the bass in your voice? You should tell me lighten up. Put some bass in your voice.
Lighten it up. There you go. A little more creepy. I like it. All right. Welcome to Rose City Sports Talk. If this is your first time joining us, we want to give a big shout out to your time and your ears. And
we
again,
appreciate you.
if you're hearing the sounds, those are the sounds of Samurai Music. Check them out, samuraimusic.com. If you are a local artist or producer and you're interested in scoring an episode of Rose City Sports Talk, we'd love to have you on. Hit us up. You can find us at rosecitysportstalk.com, as well as most of the social media platforms,
Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
You know.
Hit us up. We'd love to hear your sounds.
That's what we want to
Anwar's he's a great ear. He'll let you know.
I got a little bit in
He'll
there,
let you
man.
know if you got some heat.
If you get my head knobbing, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, okay.
I'm telling you, that's the only requirements.
That's the only required, the head nod?
Yeah, I mean, if I hear yours, it slaps.
It's a good requirement.
I gotta feel it in the soul.
I mean,
gotta feel it in the
soul.
soul.
I got a little bit of soul too.
And that's why we got love for our boy Sam, Samurai Music. Again, check him out, samuraimusic.com. All right, let's slide on over and talk about what we be sipping on tonight. I got one of the usuals tonight, Pyramid Brewing.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on the Sean's. Check them out, pyramidbrewing.com out of Seattle, Washington. What you got? You got one of the
and
locals.
I got Breakside.
You got Breakside. You got their IPA.
I got.
Yeah.
You know me. I mess with this. I mess with my ladies and I mess with Breakside too. You know which one I'm talking about. It's his favorite thing to discuss.
Yeah.
On this show.
The face down, ass up. I got you.
Maybe on the outtakes of the show.
Okay. So
But I digress.
Breakside sliding in there.
Breakside. I don't know what it is.
It's breakside.com.
Breakside.com.
And you sipping on the Breakside IPA.
It's just no name. It just feels good, feel great, feel good flagship. That's what I'm messing with.
Okay,
So
that's
go
fair.
check that out.
That's
Look
fair.
good,
You see
play
the bottom.
good.
Jake, what you got?
Work hard, play harder.
I got that Apocalypse.
You got the Apocalypse from
10 barrel. That home favorite.
Home favorite.
Favorite.
Nah, I got you. Much love to 10 barrel out of
10barrel.com. 10 as in 10 barrel.com.
Okay.
See,
And
Jake, the hammer sticks to the script. Like he
Yeah.
messed with a couple beers, so you can get his rotation.
Yep.
You get on his team, you good.
you pretty much pyramid the Sean's, Ninkasi, Triceratops, or Triceratops,
Yeah.
and then obviously
The
10
Apocalypse.
barrel.
We need the hammer's top 5. That's what we need.
We need a hammer top
Hammer-
I can
five.
work
top
on
five
one.
with
Yeah, I'll
me.
get you one.
We should
That's
definitely
like-
do that.
you know?
Here on Rose City Sports Talk, we definitely love giving shine to the local breweries here within the Northwest. Okay, let's jump in. We got plenty to talk about. First thing we could show love to is it's a new season for the Timbers. Shout out to the Timbers Army. Congratulations. It's a whole new year. Not so much of a congratulations for the 0-0 opening.
That's all right. We got 1 point.
That's right. 1
It's a
point
good team.
against
Score.
rival Real Salt Lake. Jake, you were actually, as usual, in attendance at the game.
I was in attendance. It was
How
a
was
great
it?
game. It was a perfect night. Usually
was.
for opening season, we're used to rain. We had 70-degree weather in the day. Super nice at night.
Definitely
that.
can't argue that.
No, you
Definitely
cannot.
can't argue that here in Portland.
How those players look?
Should have probably came away with the win. We had 18 shots on goal.
Dang.
18 shots, 6 on goal. They only had 9 to 2.
You only had shit.
Check out this
shots
stat line.
on goal for a 90-minute game is a little rough, though.
So here's this stat line. We had 11 corner kicks. They had none.
Wow.
11 corner kicks, you'd think,
Which made
or
it-
you'd hope that the Timbers would be able to capitalize on at least one of those. So
Definitely.
what was the issue? Why couldn't we put one in?
I mean, our defense this year looks better than anything I've ever seen. Our new goalkeeper, Adam Kwarsi, is picked up right where Ricketts left off, playing really, really well. We got actually Nate Borchers came over from Real Salt Lake. He's a veteran, I think left wing. Played great. I don't know. The shots just didn't fall. Ronnie Wallace had a bunch of good shots. He had 4 on goal. Nagby,
yeah.
who won man of the match, he had a couple. It was just a case of the shots were there, but the goalie
just
on
weren't
Salt
balling.
Lake was even better.
Which
Romano,
we've seen before over the
he's
last
amazing.
few years.
He's a U.S. men's goalkeeper now, so
Yep.
I mean you got to expect good things from him.
the dude can stop shots.
When it comes down to it, I think we played a great game. We just didn't get the shots to fall.
Okay.
That happens early season.
Okay.
Early
But
season
what I want to
jitters.
say better is
Okay,
just our
yeah.
defense looks great. Watch our defense to put up more, zeros on the scoreboard. I
You
think
like
once
that.
we get
We
Valeri
definitely
back,
like that in Portland, especially come the second half of the season where we have
Where
a
we
tendency
struggled.
to let second halves of the game slip away.
right after that 80th minute.
That's right. Okay, speaking of letting a game slip away, I think this is a great segue. While we're talking local, let's talk about Rip City. Let's talk about the Blazers. Obviously, this week, a rough week.
It's almost a season getting away.
It is. You get to see Wesley Matthews, one of my favorite players in the game. Obviously, for the last year, you've heard me preach about Wesley Matthews and Nicola Batum being my favorite players in the game. But to watch Wesley go down with an Achilles injury of all things,
That was harsh.
It was
it's
harsh.
hard.
It was heartbreaking, not for the simple fact for the season, because they've been playing they're playing lights out lately.
I got you.
They're one of the better teams against playoff contenders right now. Like they had third best record in the league with that. And for West to go out just like that, you're like, the way he was talking, you could see the disappointment, you could see the heartbreak in his voice. You're thinking he got kicked in the back.
The
you
message he
didn't
released.
you didn't feel a kick in the back.
Yeah.
It's that Achilles popping. $100 million like that guy was probably going to sign for. And so not only do you miss the season out, but you're missing out like the longevity of this guy's career, because it's hard to come back, as you've seen with Kobe,
Yeah, exactly.
as you've seen with
You said
Chauncey
the name.
Billups lately.
Forget Chauncey Billups. You said the name. This is your team, LA Lakers.
Yeah.
You saw Kobe Bryant go down, 3 or 4 years ago with an Achilles injury. Have you seen Kobe return to full form? Not just full form, but sustain his form through an 82-plus game season to help his franchise? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I can answer that right now. No, you haven't.
With the Kobe, because I just saw that movie, the documentary that Kobe had,
Yeah.
Muse, and
Yep.
any basketball fan should check that out.
Definitely.
Because you really get an insight on his recovery, like the mindset of a generational player, so to speak. So I'm just like, that was a great thing to watch. But what I saw with his Achilles surgery, the doctors were looking at that thing like it was like this was like a beautiful piece of work. Like they were like, this is what we need to be seeing from the when they removed the stitches. It was a good scene in that movie, and I was like, well, that immediately made me think about what Wesley Matthews needs to do. He needs to get to maybe not Kobe's doctors, but something like similar, who needs to really
Get
like
over to Germany.
get over to
'Cause that's
Germany.
where
Like Kobe got the
'cause that's where
doctors,
Kobe
man.
went. He
That
went to
money gets you the
Germany.
doctor. Paul Allen,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
best.
I got a
get
question.
Get this man the best doctors
What
possible.
you got to say,
Because
Jake?
I think they can come back.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Seeing how it is where he's got to pick up his contract this year for the Blazers, right?
Yep.
So Wesley Matthews, he's got to re-sign. People have been talking about if he was healthy, he would get a max contract, maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
So him being hurt, does it give Portland more
It does.
of an advantage to be like, come back to us, we're going to sign you for less because of this Achilles thing, and he'll stay on the team. But like, how do you feel about, like, to me, it's almost kind of like, I don't want to see the guy hurt. I want to see him get money.
Yeah, I agree.
But at
you
the
want to
same
see
time-
get what he deserves.
Exactly,
what
because
you've
I love
seen over the
Wes.
last couple of
Wes
years.
He
is a
deserves
great
that.
player.
He deserves that $100 million.
Yeah.
He's not
he
going to get it
definitely does, but now things have changed.
It
I
has.
see him coming back to Portland.
Can't argue that.
because the market,
You know.
the market now has changed for Wesley Matthews, because you don't know when he's going to come back after that. He's still going to get a good. I think the Portland's going to take care of him. They're going to give him a good salary, but that max contract,
You'd hope.
he's not going to get.
Well, he won't
and
get
what's
it
going
now,
to shy
no.
away from other teams is he's going to be with Portland doctors or people that Portland trusted. So they're going to know his whole rehab process
Yep.
and everything like that. So they're going to have all the intel that they need going forward to re-sign that guy and be comfortable at the amount that they're going to pay him to re-sign him. So I think they definitely have more of an advantage of getting him back. But it's just sad to see a player that's been such a leader on the court, like his intangibles are irreplaceable.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that he's became a knockdown shooter, became a guy who you didn't really want to shoot 20 times a game, but now you're like Wes,
Jack
if he
it up.
passes up a shot, Wes, why didn't you shoot that? Like,
Yeah,
And
I
his
agree.
post game,
That's
his post game that's been
I
developed
agree.
is
that's
great.
ridiculous with him. So his improvement has been we've all seen it, and so it's heartbreaking to see him gone.
It is.
But I think he'll be back, and I think that Portland will.
If anyone's gonna come back, it would
It's
be
gonna be
Wes
him.
West.
It would be
and
Wes.
Aaron Aflalo, like that's what you brought him in for, to have more depth, and then
That's right.
So we'll see
we
what he
brought
can
him in,
do.
but we definitely
Yes
did
and
not
no.
bring him in
We didn't-
knowing
not
that
for this.
Wesley Matthews is
Yeah,
going to go
man.
down.
Shout out to Wes West, y'all.
Shout out to West. Much love to Wesley Matthews.
Get back soon.
Yep.
Hey,
Get healthy.
hey,
Take
did you
your
guys
time.
know he's a Vikings fan? Just
out
by
of
the
here.
way.
Man, don't
Just
be
by the
crazy.
way.
Take your time
Vikings.
getting healthy. None of this 5 months I'll be back. That's nonsense. Take your time. We
Take
need
your
you next
time.
year. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Rose City Sports Talk. When we get back, we're going to jump in and talk more this, that, and a little bit more.
And
Okay?
a little bit of keep him something.
Keep them what?
Keep him what?
All right. Keep it tuned. Hummel, much love. Welcome back to Rose City Sports Talk. Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones, Shake the Hummel, and much love to the scoring producer tonight, Samurai Music. Check him out, samuraimusic.com. You can also find his tunes at rosecitysportstalk.com. Before we jump back in and get into the Keep 'em Low rankings, we also want to give shout out to our hydration providers. Hydration as in Sip Sip, Local Brew, some of that
Sipping on
good
some
good.
Breakside.
I know Anwar's enjoying the
Breakside.
Breakside IPA. Check them out, breakside.com. Much love to the brewery out of the Southeast, and of course, out of Seattle, Washington.
I like that you just said that.
Yeah, out of SE, of course.
Repping.
And then out of, it's kind of weird saying this, but out of Seattle, Washington, we give it love to pyramidbrewing.com. I'm sipping on the Sean's. Of course, you've heard me mention that throughout the entire season of Rose City Sports
Yes,
Talk.
sir.
That's usually Jake's, I don't know, second or third go-to. But tonight, of course, Jake is sipping on some 10 Barrel. Check them out, 10barrel.com. You can also check them out with their locations in Bend as well as now in Portland here in Northwest. I think they're now located where the Mellow Mushroom used to be. So you should slide through, check them out, have some sip, enjoy yourself. Okay, back to Rose City Sports Talk. Back to Anwar's Keep 'em Low rankings. Number 5, I want to know, has anything changed? Who we got?
Oh, there's plenty of changes. Plenty of changes.
I like
Some
it.
teams that they've bumped out of it.
Okay.
Portland, unfortunately.
Yeah. Portland
I feel,
as your 5A or 5B.
Yeah, I
as you
feel
put it
sorry.
last
I feel
week.
sorry for it because there's a curse going on.
It
y'all.
is.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've had 2 Achilles injuries with the top 5. Brandon Jennings tore his Achilles.
Yep.
3 days later, after I put him in the top 5, Wesley Matthews has done it. DeMar DeRozan's gotten hurt with a hamstring. I kind of have an injury.
It's kind of like you
It's
attending
kinda-
the Blazer games.
Yeah,
I
a little
prefer
bit.
you
I
didn't
feel a
attend
little-
the Blazer
I feel
games.
a little
I mean, we're
uneasy about
finally
this. And you know what? Hold on.
closer to the
Yeah.
500. We're
Yeah.
3-6 with you attending, but still, when it was like 1-5,
It's
1-6.
No, 4. I think it's 4-7.
Is
now.
it 4-7?
4-7.
I'm
now.
off on the game.
It's coming
okay.
up.
Okay, so
Because I
we're
attended a
sliding
good
up.
win streak.
Okay, so I can't be mad.
So basically, like one of the teams that fall out, just let you know,
Yep.
Houston fell out of it.
Yep.
And
You
not
ain't gonna hear me
anything that
mad.
Houston has done. I think they've been really impressive. Terrence Jones has really been good
He
for
has.
the representative. Jefferson High, PIL, let's go.
Yep.
He's done his thing since his return. Like he almost was out for the season. Now he's came back and done his thing.
And he's doing work.
Shout out to Houston. Shout out to James Harden, even doing like shameless.
Don't shout out to James.
Shameless plugging.
We're
to
gonna
get
get there.
the
We're gonna
MVP.
get there. Keep going.
Darrell
keep going.
Morey gets way too much pub for what he does. So,
Okay.
Yeah, Houston, they're not in it. Number 5, and I know because I preface this on we've had a lot of curses going on.
Yes,
with this.
we have.
So number 5 is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Whoa, we had a fall off there. They were number 2 last week. Now we're sitting
were
at number
number 2.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that because of LeBron's 3-11 performance? I mean, we talked about that last week. I feel like they didn't deserve a 3 position knock. Are you hating right now?
I'm not
hating right now.
I'm not hating on Cleveland, but the fact that they got to come out of the East. And I think during the weekend, I just saw some.
I mean, let's be honest. Out of the East, they only have to worry about Atlanta.
Only Atlanta.
Yeah,
And that's
only
good thing.
Atlanta.
Like Washington has fell off.
Yep.
They've been terrible since the
Terrible.
since the All-Star break. Randy
Terrible.
Whitman's probably gonna get fired next year. He's probably not gonna make it. He's terrible, coach. Sorry I said that. Kyle Lowry's been terrible since the All-Star break too, shooting under 40%. So you see there's not too much competition going on
Yeah,
in
it's
the
been a
East.
little rough.
But on the weekend they went against Atlanta.
Yep.
Their main competitors. And it brings in that playoff conversation where you're like, I don't really trust these guys.
Yeah, what happened?
Kevin Love, I don't really trust him. Kyrie Irving, I think he's gonna represent in the playoffs, but some of those other guys like J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Timothy Mozgov, Matthew Dellavedova as a backup point
It
guard.
got a little
you
weak,
don't really know what type of intensity that they're gonna bring to the table, and mainly it's Kevin Love. Like Kevin Love is what's gonna take this team over the top, and the whole
What
fact
the
that
hell
when
is
they got
wrong
Kevin
with
Love,
Kevin Love?
you thought they were gonna be a great team, right?
Kevin Love got that Bosch complex. Although he
even
doesn't.
worse though
Does he?
than
I don't
Bosch
think he's got that
because-
Bosch talk. Because here's my thing with Kevin Love. Kevin Love don't play no defense.
And that's the thing I was about to say. because,
Kevin
like,
Love don't play no defense.
Chris-
Hey, you're from Oregon. I grew up playing ball against you. You grew up in the triple
Play some
threat
D.
program, bro. Triple threat program. D. Where is it?
got personal.
Yeah, it got personal. It got personal.
Play some D.
Kevin Love, you're in the NBA. You're playing alongside the greatest player in the world. You have an opportunity to contend for a world championship or whatever, an NBA
even-
title, but you can't even step your D game up.
One of the
Come on.
one of the main things about defense is closing out a possession, and
Yep.
what's that? Rebounding, and that's what his game has gone down. He's
Agreed.
averaging only
Agreed.
10 rebounds a
Agreed.
game when this guy was steady getting 20 games last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you got to step it up on the defensive
Consistent
end.
and
But
strong double doubles.
we bring back to Chris Bosh, who
Yep.
shout out to Chris Bosh, get well soon.
For
I just
sure.
saw like a press conference with him. He looked like he lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
that guy really gets back his life in order. But the thing about Chris Bosh, what was slept on during his Miami days, was the fact that he could switch everything. You could switch Chris Bosh on a point guard, 2 guard, anybody. He was hawking on those
I gotta say this real quick because I'm thinking about it while it's heavy because we're talking about Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh, shout out to Chris Bosh. Get healthy, get well. But at the same time, to think about Chris Bosh is in the hospital for the same thing that the Portland Trailblazer and Portland community just lost
man,
Jerome
yeah.
Kersey for.
And shout out to Jerome Kersey.
A simple blood clot. Like
A
those,
blood clots are scary,
That could be
man.
the simplest, but yet scariest life-ending thing.
And with
it's
Jerome
nuts.
Kersey, with the fact
It's
with Jerome
absolutely
Kersey,
crazy.
go back to that, like
Yeah.
it's like okay, his lower
had
extremities
surgery on the knee.
was hurting. Like he
Yep.
got his knee surgery. You think, okay, my calf is hurting. Like that's like normal. I just had a surgery, and that's
crazy.
like life threatening. So like I mean that's a
Yeah, I didn't mean to digress. I
No,
didn't
but
mean to
Chris-
get sad on it or depressing on it. But at the same time,
But-
obviously, Chris Bosh has been.
go back to that. But the fact that Chris Bosh was in Haiti
Yep.
during that time, he was All-Star break. He was
Yep.
feeling under the weather. He goes down to Haiti on vacation, and then he's feeling under the weather there, and then he went back early and went to the doctors. What if he didn't do that?
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I mean, that's life and death type
It's
of
just
situation.
one of those
So,
situations where he's in the hospital and you're seeing it, and it's for the same reasons that you're seeing at the same time. Parallel, we're losing an NBA great because of it. So
It kind
again,
of like that Cleveland Miami
perspective,
matchup,
right?
when they just picked up Goran Dragic.
Yeah.
You know, that 2-7 matchup that could have happened. That
Yep.
would have been insane.
it would have. It
Like,
would
so
have.
like we missed out on that, but like you don't like it's when you go back to it.
Can't mess with it.
Chris
Can't mess
Bosh. I
with
mean,
it.
it's the most important thing is to get better.
Exactly.
But
Get better, get healthy.
He was amazing on with their defense. The way that he can shell out on all those positions, double team, and really be good at that, and let Dwayne Wade and LeBron James kind of roam around on defense. LeBron doesn't have that same capabilities with the squad because Kevin Love just is like staying still on defense. So
no, he sits in that corner waiting for that dish out.
That's
and it's
why
just like, bro, on the
that's why they've
offensive
gone
side of
down.
the ball, of course, eventually it will find you. But on the defensive scheme of things, we need you active. We need to see you moving. You need to be switching off the ball. You need to acknowledge picks. Basic basketball.
And are they even going to re-sign this guy next year, or is he even going to want to
man,
be
who
there because
knows?
he's playing a secondary role
Who knows?
or a third role in this?
I don't know.
Like,
who we got at number 3? Who we got at
Yes,
number
who we
3?
have at
we
number
haven't got number
forget
3. We haven't
Cleveland.
even got another number 4. So number 4
Well, no,
is
number 4. What'd
Number
you say?
5 was Cleveland.
Oh, Jesus.
Number 4 is a newcomer.
Okay. Who we got?
Newcomer. OKC.
Oh, jeez.
I'm bringing them into the fold.
Oh,
like
jeez.
I am. I'm like,
And
I'm
you
just
know-
looking. I'm looking at it right now.
Any other 10-day period of time, you'd hear me argue this. But
You can't.
I can't. You're right.
And
I can't.
and I like how you 10 games span.
Yeah.
We got Michael Jordan. We got Russell Westbrook. And there's no other names.
You wanna hear the
Because
stats?
nobody
Let's hear it. What
nobody
you got
has
for us?
had.
I'll tell you the stats.
Tell me the stats.
Russell Westbrook, 33.1 points per game, 10.1 rebounds per game, 11.2
Oh my God.
assists per game in a 10-game span. Nobody has done that except
Since
Michael Jordan in the last
MJ.
50 years.
Oh, goodness.
I think it's
In 10
MJ.
games.
MJ fade away perfect. I think that's what Jay
It's
said.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hey,
To be in that same breath as them.
before we dive in and talk more about
Stupid.
Russell Westbrook and those OKC folk, let's take a quick break here at Rose City Sports Talk. We will be right back. Be sure to check us out, rosecitysportstalk.com, and make sure you show love to the scoring producer for the evening, Samurai Music. We'll be
Karate
right back.
chopping. That's what we do. It's always a celebration.
That's right.
Rose City Sports Talk.
That's right. Always enjoying
Pretty
be
much.
it the tunes tonight from
Enjoying
Samurai
y'all
Music or the sip
participation in this.
tonight from pyramidbrewing.com, breakside.com, and of course Jake enjoying his 10 barrel. Check him out, 10barrel.com. You can also visit their location here in Portland, in the Northwest, as well as, of course, the hometown, Bend, Oregon. Much love. Okay, let's jump right back in. We were talking Anwar's Keep 'em Low rankings. Salud.
Let's go. It's allergy season. It's springtime. That's why it's light
Number
out.
5, we had the Cleveland Cleveland.
Cavs.
3 whiskeys later, Cleveland Cavalier. Man,
Cavaliers.
forget it. Just
The
leave it
Cavs.
out.
I just call them the Cavs. Number 4.
Number 4, we had OKC. We were talking about
OKC.
Russell Westbrook and Jimmy. I can't speak. Period.
Yeah, I mean, we gonna let him gather himself.
I'm gonna take a
and
quick
we gonna
sip.
we gonna
Let's
talk
keep
about
going.
we gonna talk about a guy that's been. It's when we always say, like, we throw it out there. LeBron's a walking triple double.
Yep.
You know, some of the guys that get a couple good games.
Yep.
RJ Iguodala probably has been thrown in that walking triple. You know, they just throw it out
Okay,
there.
yeah, sure.
This
I'll
guy's
let you throw that out
legitimately I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to give that many props to Andre. Like LeBron, I know.
That's
I'm sorry.
weak. Okay, keep
Andre
going.
Miller was like that too for a little bit.
Shut up.
Throwing out whack names on. I'm sorry. I digress. But Russell,
Too much whiskey.
Russell, I mean, like, really, like, if he plays this way, how does he not get a triple double? I hear it. I hear it.
Save that chatter.
It's like
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
It's overwhelming. Like,
okay.
But we'll talk about the OKC dynamic, and the reason why I'm putting them at number 4 is the fact that you got a guy that, forget the stats. This guy just wants to win, and he goes out. Nobody plays harder than that guy.
Nobody plays harder than him from tip off to the last second of the game.
And
nobody. I've never seen anybody play that hard.
Can get as emotionally crazy about a game and lose the game.
See, I don't care anymore. I remember we talked a lot of shit about him.
2 weeks later,
he's not like that.
No, this has not been 2 weeks.
Hummel has changed his tune.
This is bullshit because I've talked to you about Anwar about this for the last 3 weeks about how much I have seen Westbrook grow as a player. Obviously, he's going to take shots. He's the only one on the team who's going to take shots. Let's talk about 2 games ago.
It doesn't matter if he still put up a triple-double. Why did they lose the game? How come out of
because he messed up and stepped out of bounds.
Oh my God!
How come out of all these triple doubles, he's only managed to pull away with 2?
That's not his fault. That's his team's fault.
Okay.
Are you really gonna
Russell Westbrook has walked away with 2 wins in all of these triple doubles.
Answer me this, Bryce. Answer me this.
I'm just saying.
Somebody who scores 40 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists, and you're gonna blame
the hard way
that guy for the reason why they lost the game? That's insane.
How about this? I'll give him respect in the sense that
respect.
Yeah, of course.
Is that what he gets?
I'm gonna show love to Russell Westbrook in the sense that he doesn't have to take 3 steps. He should be humbled and get all of his points and stats at the foul line.
See, now you know what you're doing right now? You're just trying to get me on your team because you're going to talk shit about Harden.
No. Like the other MVP candidate, which we're going to segue into later in the episode. But right now we're talking top 5.
Yeah, we're going to
number 3.
We're going to get
Who
back.
do we got? Who do we got number 3? Who do we got number 3? Just tell me. Who do we got number 3?
Before we go to number 3, let's just like the dynamic with OKC. The big
phenomenal.
thing is
it's amazing.
Durant coming back.
It's incredible.
Durant coming back. Oh my God. In this, and everybody's
fighting for number 8 in the West.
Everybody's talking about when Durant comes back, whose team is it? And the fact of the matter is
it's the reigning MVP's team.
I don't know about it anymore.
It's the reigning MVP's team.
Russell Westbrook has had such an unbelievable stretch.
You guys are silly.
With the fact that
right
you
now.
want
you don't see the writing on the wall.
If this chair wasn't broken, I'd sit in it.
Let me learn you something real quick.
Check this out. I'm gonna drop it again 2 weeks in a row.
Let me learn you something.
No, it didn't drop.
Because Russell Westbrook has been passing the ball.
There it goes.
What you want him to do all the time. The whole time you wanted Russell Westbrook to pass the ball. He's doing that. So when he gets Kevin Durant, who loves to float around the perimeter, just slyly get open and knock that J down. With Russell Westbrook,
you're trying to tell me Kevin Durant just hangs out around the perimeter?
Well, this is where me and Anwar don't really agree.
Oh my God. Durant, we're gonna get heated right now.
Okay,
you're trying to tell me Kevin Durant don't move off the ball.
That's
what you're saying.
I did not say that.
That's what you're saying.
When I'm saying
Kevin Durant just likes to float around the outside.
And look, when he floats around, he's smart enough to float around a screen to slyly get open for that J. Kevin Durant knows how to get open for a J.
Look at this face.
So a guy that can get him the ball, disagree with this point. A guy that can get him the ball, converge the defense to have everybody converge on Russell Westbrook and kick it out to a guy as lethal as Kevin Durant on the perimeter.
It's not going to happen.
Have you seen what this guy has done? He's telling you, Jordan level status.
I see what Westbrook's doing, but when Durant returns, no matter what, Durant will receive more respect on the floor. He's going to see more double teams than Russell Westbrook.
Pitbull?
Yes, because they know why. When the Pitbull goes to the middle and draws 2 to 3, do you think they're really going to leave Kevin Durant wide open?
What do you give up? You give up an easy layup, which Russell Westbrook will do if you don't double team him when he's converging to the basket. or give a 3-point shout out to Kevin Durant. We're looking at a guy that's an MVP. Kevin Durant was last year's MVP.
Yeah.
This guy is the MVP right now. He's the best player in the league right now. So I'm going to let a guy who's the best player go to the basket and lay it up, or I'm going to kick it out to last year's best player and kick it out for a 3. Pick your poison. Either way, they're gonna kill you. Either way, that's why the reason
you're
why
kind of knocking Durant right
they're
now.
at the number. I love Durant. He's gonna be crazy when he
So,
comes back, and that's why number 4 because they might
number 3
kill teams.
You made
number
so
3,
much argument for number 4, but they're only at number 4.
Number 3.
Who you got number 3?
We're gonna go with my crew, the grit and grind crew.
You're out of control. Yeah, he's gonna say it. Go for it.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
I'll take
Is
it.
that a complaint?
I thought it was San Antonio.
I get you that. Yeah.
Shout out to San Antonio.
Don't even shut
Hold
up.
up. Let me give a shout out
Just
to San
because they've been playing a little bit better.
A shout out to San Antonio
Jesus.
because and look. This is why and I have a method to my madness with this.
What is the method?
I apologize. I gotta talk about the Spurs
I don't
real quick.
apologize for anything
But
here on Rose City Sports Talk.
Portland being this, Weston Matthews being out, that's going to open up another slot. So you might see Houston going against San Antonio in 3-6 in the playoffs. San Antonio, you just saw Tony Parker. The reason why they've struggled has been because Tony Parker has not been
going to the paint.
guy he's the catalyst of that offense.
I got you.
He's a driving kick.
Yeah.
He's the catalyst of that. And so we saw
I can
Tony
see
Parker
Memphis in the 3.
Tony Parker being that guy and scoring 32 points season high.
But you're talking about San Antonio.
He looked legit. So be wary of San Antonio. They're creeping. Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep, number 3.
They've had two big wins.
Yep.
They just beat Chicago.
They did.
They beat Houston over the weekend
They
too.
did.
They look impressive every time, and it's just consistency.
Okay.
Defense, rebounding.
Who's consistent enough to be number 2?
Who's consistent enough to be number 2?
Yeah.
And they've been the most consistent team in the league because they're in the top 5 in offense and defense, and that'd be the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Oh,
Best
wow.
record-
So they fell
best
off.
record-
They were number
best
1
record in the
last
league.
week. So number 2 in Anwar's Keep 'em Low rankings, we got Golden State with the Splash Bros. Why are they sitting at number 2, not number 1?
I mean, just still the same reservations I've had over time.
Yeah.
They lost a couple times this week.
They have.
It's just like you live and die
They are
by
putting
that jump
up
shot.
a really ridiculous stat against playoff teams.
They're 27
22 and 8
sorry.
against playoff teams.
That's
filthy.
legit. That's legit.
filthy.
Only one team better.
I think Atlanta's in there at 19 and
Atlanta against playoff teams is
it.
26 and 8.
26 and 8. 26 and 8. That's
Ooh-wee.
legit.
Yeah,
I think they're
12-4
like
games over.
19 and
You cannot argue
19
that.
and like
But again-
4 or 6 against the Western Conference.
But again, you're talking
teams.
about Atlanta, who's again playing at a consistent schedule of East Coast teams and even East Coast playoff teams, arguably against West Coast playoff teams. The comparison is a little weighted more towards the West.
It's impressive what Golden State's doing.
You can't give much clout to the East Coast teams,
No,
but
I
they
wouldn't-
are putting in
I
W's
wouldn't
against
say
the
that.
West
I wouldn't
Coast.
say that because the East Coast teams. I mean, Washington and Toronto's had some bad. The best is the All-Star break, but you really have 5 or 6 teams that are pretty legitimate with that. So I think you need to
Pacers
shout
been
out
playing
like
real good,
it's just
too.
the bottom of the East is bad, but
Yeah.
the upper tier of the East is good. Well, we can get back into Golden State and they had 27 and 2 at home, so like there's a reason why they're
I
up
got
there.
you.
But I mean, we can get back into. I know we
Yeah,
gotta
let's
go,
take a quick
go
break.
to quick
here on
break.
Rose City Sports Talk. We will be right back. But before we go, we want to give love to the scoring producer for the evening, Samurai Music. If you are an artist or producer, hey,
Shout out to Portland.
every week,
PDX sounds.
we want to give love to the sounds of
Anwar,
Portland
run.
City.
Yo,
But
I'm clean with
again,
it.
before
Oh,
we
gotta
take a
wear
break, give much love to Samurai Music. Check them out, samuraimusic.com. And if you're an artist and interested in scoring an episode of Rose City Sports Talk, hit us up at rosecitysportstalk.com. You could also search us out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Okay, we will be right back. We taking quick breaks tonight, if you
That's
can
how,
tell.
hey, man, we up in here, man.
All right, welcome back to Road City Sports Talk. Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones, Jake the Hammer, Jake the Hammer Hummel joining us. All right, we are talking about our top 5, our keep 'em low rankings.
Yeah.
Anwar, tell us, before we jump into number 1, we're talking about number 2, Golden State. Why is it again that they're sitting at number 2?
I just like, it's just strictly the jump shooting. Jump shots.
Yep.
That's what they rely on.
And the defense.
The defense. I like their defense, but
it's there.
We're gonna see
when
that tempo gets slowed up. I'm curious to see. Because the Splash Brothers, we've never seen anything like this.
No.
Like the way they shoot. You can double Curry, and the next thing you know, you swing it out to Clay, and it's killing them. And that's why I don't really see it's like Splash Brothers that's what makes this team special.
I got
and
you.
Curry is super special. Like you see that move when he did around the back, step back.
Yeah,
it was
filthy,
insane when he hit that shot. And Steve Kerr was all acting like he was surprised when he saw that, and whatever. Playing for the ABC
Steve Kerr,
crowd.
come on, can't be.
But with this team, I think it's Splash Brothers that make them special. I don't think Curry is the MVP with that. We'll get back into that. But I just don't. I think it's that backcourt really makes this team go.
That's understandable. Who do we got at number 1?
But
number 1.
They stay at number 2. Number 1, Atlanta, ATL.
Whoa.
And ATL
Another jump back up.
Okay. And it was against your boys, against the Cavs. And what really impressed me, and what you're going to see in playoff time, is the fact that their defense and the way that they were blitzing the pick and rolls, and just conversion on LeBron and Kyrie, and making those other guys beat them.
It was LeBron's
really
weakest game in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, if you set aside the 3 for 11 free throw outing a couple of nights before, but it was the highest turnover evening for LeBron this season.
He had 9. He had 9, and he came out and said he had 5 of them that were basically on him. Unforced errors. And that's just they get you out of your groove. And that was the first time they played that defense against Cleveland. 1. And the fact that they executed that to perfection.
Yeah, I got you.
And you got 5 guys that averaging double figures. Then their bench guys play like starters because Dennis Schroeder, the kid from Germany,
with a chip on the shoulder.
He comes kills the pick and roll, gets in the lane. Mike Scott looks like a legitimate player. Kent Bazemore, who used to play for the Lakers, shout out to Jim Buck for letting him go for nothing. He puts in work, so it's Atlanta got a lot of guys.
So basically what we've been saying all year,
Atlanta
has all the potential in the world to obviously make a dent, not just in the East, but in the NBA playoff picture in general. Before we take a break, we're going to slide into a whole new realm. Obviously, it's the off season. Actually, you know what? I'm a little dry in the mouth. Let me take a quick drink, and we're going to show some love to our hydration providers this evening. I know tonight I'm sipping on some Pyramid out of Seattle, Washington. Check them out, pyramidbrewing.com. Anwar, what you sipping on tonight?
I'm sipping on some Breakside. And you know what? In beer, this is what we usually
That's that IPA?
It's IPA.
I know last week you were sipping on the Breakside, the crossover with salt and straw. But this week,
that was good. That was good.
This week's just the IPA.
I like it.
You liking it?
And beer, that's associated with something that what we call college basketball. It's around that time.
It is.
I just want to drink beer and do beer pong.
It is
during this time of year.
Hey,
it's March.
Good segue.
I feel the madness.
Because we already know Jake's drinking on 10 barrel. Check them out, 10barrel.com, out of Bend and Portland, Oregon.
Check them out. They're in my fridge.
Can we use anything but PBR during beer pong type of thing? Can we use that?
No, 10 barrel is where you want
10 barrel.
If you're going to play a game of beer pong with 10 barrel,
that'd
be legit.
You're going to get maybe one.
Might get you real good, though.
Maybe 2 games. Maybe.
You're going to get fucked up.
I'll spill
Hey, I got to bring this up.
Day.
It was a good transition. Before we talk NFL, forget it. I know we have our idea of what the evening and how the flow of the night's going to go, but you brought it up, so let's dive into it. Forget NFL. We're talking college basketball.
Okay.
You mentioned it. This week wrapped up a crazy regular season for one team who is kind of the reason we've been avoiding talking college basketball all year, because it kind of just seems obvious. Kentucky.
They've been the dominant
31-0. They wrapped up the regular season. Obviously, this weekend starts the conference tournaments and finals. So you never know what could happen in college basketball. Kentucky could actually fall.
No.
But exactly. But going into the conference tourneys, does anyone really see Kentucky falling? Not just the conference tournaments, but the tournament.
What I like about Kentucky is that
31-0.
They've had some games where
it's been close.
It's been close.
There's been a couple.
They were down 9 against
won
Georgia,
31,
and they're like, we're not gonna
no
lose.
losses. Like, it's almost like that Florida State, how we talked about that in college football, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's almost like that Florida State and how we talked about in college football. They kind of play in kind of a weak conference. SEC is not super good.
That's
a lot
true.
of the teams that they have played have not been great, but a lot of the teams that they have played that have been really good, they have played very well against. So it will be interesting to see when push comes to shove, just like Florida State, in college football, what will happen.
I'm just asking Anwar.
Can I say, unlike other in the SEC football where they play this cupcake schedule on non-conference, you can't say that about Kentucky.
Exactly, that's kind of what I was referring to.
They played against
no matter what.
They played against North Carolina.
We can agree. No matter what, it's college basketball, and college basketball is competitive. If you're a D1 school playing within one of the major conferences, no matter what, your schedule is gonna put you against some names that will argue, if you're coming out with W's, will argue that you should be in the top 25, top 10, top 5, and in terms of Kentucky, 31-0 after the regular season.
Ridiculous.
There's not much you could argue.
But
there's not much you could argue.
SEC, I mean, it's not a strong conference, but their non-conference schedule has been impressive enough.
No, I'm not degrading their wins at all.
That's why they're one and they've stayed at one, for sure.
They have a lot of young players. They're probably one of the least experienced teams.
Of course,
but they also have 4 returning sophomores. They have a junior with Woody Cauley-Stein who's going to be a top 10 pick. You got the Harrison twins, but then you got Carl Towns.
Yep.
You have what's his Tyler Eulis, little speedy point guard, 5'11" point guard who does his thing. Devin Booker who does his thing. Like, this team is loaded.
They're always. I mean, it's Kentucky. They're going to be stacked. And the fact that you had to bring up sophomores.
They got sophomores. They actually have
Kentucky's
sophomores.
Got sophomores.
Okay, is it written in the books? We're gonna jump into this obviously next week. Next week, tune back in. We're gonna have more of a dedicated special towards Selection Sunday and the overall tournament itself. But I gotta ask you, do you think it's written in the books that Kentucky's got it?
It's not
in
written
the
in the
bag?
books.
Nothing in the dance is written in the books. We all know this.
I like it.
Right there, and we're gonna be doing our brackets, and we're gonna dive into. We're gonna have our little pool going on.
Okay.
I'm throwing money on the table.
Okay.
But
I'm throwing money on the table.
Like Jaleel Okafor, you got him over there in Duke, so they might be able to do their thing.
I'm not mad at that.
And Tyus Jones, he's been really doing it. He's been dominant in close games against good competition. He gets to the paint at will, and your boy. Quinn.
Ooh.
Quinn can just light it up.
Yes.
That kid is legit. I want to see Kentucky.
Can.
I hope the when they do the brackets, they keep Kentucky on one side and Duke on the other.
I
so
agree.
we can see that clash, because that's what's going to make it happen.
Rose City Sports Talk. We're definitely going to jump further into Selection Sunday and the brackets and the tournament in general. It's going to be a lot of fun because we've literally been kind of biting our tongue all season waiting for this to happen, because Kentucky has kind of been doing work with everybody. So we're like, you know what? Let's just wait to the end of the season. We're going to talk a little bit about tournament time, where the real fun begins, where things could really get
Portland, we're hosting.
That's right.
Some playoff games.
We are.
I mean, some tournament games.
It's
I'm going to be
a lot
there
of fun.
Second round. And
quick question for you.
I shouldn't say I'm calling in sick from work, but I probably will, because I got to see those tournament games on
Thursday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday too.
That's right. Thursday and Friday. Quick question for you.
Breakside might make me turn.
We're going to transition here. Is $114 million suitable for a name like Ndamukong Suh?
Can I get a loan? He went to Grant. I went to the Franklin PIL school.
That's right. Shout out to
Same
Grant High
locale.
School. Shout out to the PIL. Shout out to Portland, Oregon.
Overpaid, but
Overpaid?
we gotta
Overpaid.
We gotta get out of here. Are we good?
Overpaid. We're going to take a
coming
quick
back,
break
y'all.
here on Rose City Sports Talk. But when we get back, we're going to jump right back into a little bit of NFL chatter. And then, of course, obviously, we're going to transition right back into NFL and do an MVP update. I know we talked a little bit
NBA.
about that Russell Westbrook averaging
West,
triple-double.
y'all.
There's some other names that we could throw out as well. But we're going to take a quick break here on Rose City Sports Talk. Again, much
Don't
love.
throw out the Prince.
Much love to the scoring producer for the evening, Samurai Music. Check him out, samuraimusic.com. And of course, if you feeling like sipping on a little something, check out Breakside, check out Pyramid, and check out 10barrel.com. All right,
And
be
check
right
out
back.
PDX. We do that beer game all day. Keep it beer.
All right, let's jump back into that football.
I agree.
I'm
Jake,
ready for it.
The Hummel. Ready for a little bit of NFL
I
chatter.
love football.
But before we do, we want to give again much love. PyramidBrewing.com. Breakside. Check them out at Southeast Portland. Breakside.com. And of course, Jake sipping on some 10 Barrel. Check them out. 10barrel.com.
That's 10barrel.com. Fill my fridge up.
1-0-0.
Jake's a big fan. You a big fan, Jake, right?
I like it. I drink it daily. I mean, I didn't mean it like no. Yeah, I drink it daily. Yes,
You got some issues? Okay, we got some issues.
I'm functioning.
Before we took a break,
yeah, trying to
we were
function.
talking about the NFL. We were talking about a $114 million contract to our PDX Rip City
Get your money.
Grant High School.
Is he worth the
alum.
money?
Oh, come on, get out of here.
Tell it to me.
And
Tell me.
Ndamukong
Convince me.
Suh. Obviously, we're talking about Ndamukong
Ndamukong
Suh and the Miami Dolphins. $114 million. What you think? Is it worth it?
How many years?
I got to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's over like 7, but like with
Yeah.
NFL contracts,
Something like
like
that.
it doesn't really matter about the big number. It's only the guaranteed.
Yep.
I think he got $60 million, which makes him
Guaranteed, yep.
higher than JJ Watt, who had 55.
Yep, the highest
And
paid defensive player in the NFL.
of
So
all
I'm
time.
asking you,
Of all time. This is the most money a
Period.
defense player
Period.
has ever gone.
is it worth
Ever
it?
got
Is
it.
he worth it?
On the defensive end, defensive side of the ball, there's not a more impactful player other than JJ Watt that can really bring it down for
I
you
agree.
with
What
Ndamukong
about the
Suh.
drama, though?
The drama,
What about the
he's
drama?
played in every game.
The fines,
It's the meat. Who
the
cares?
stomping, the
Who
stepping
cares?
on.
He missed 2 games.
I'm rolling my
in his-
eyes because I think it's fucking ridiculous.
He's missed 2 games because of that suspension when he
Yeah,
stepped on somebody.
yeah.
That's the only games he's missed in his whole career. And Ndamukong Suh is a beast on the defensive end. Like
He's a
that,
beast in the game, period.
You can't dispute that whatsoever. You're gonna have him over there in Miami, who had a solid defense last year. That was one of the things that
did.
kept them competing in games was their defense.
Okay,
Now
so
you're-
tell me
now
he
you're gonna
deserves
get-
this.
Yeah, what you got, Jake?
He has a
What's up, Jake?
6-year contract,
Jake's got
years,
some
man.
stats.
114 million,
Okay.
with 60 million guaranteed money.
That's a signing bonus. He deserves to get $60 million. So basically, he signed, if we look at it, he signed a 4-year deal for $60 million
Yep.
because he's not going to play 7 years in Miami. They're going to restructure
6.
his contract or 6 years.
Yeah.
They're going to restructure it. He got $60 million and he deserves that. Now,
Does he?
can he? Detroit had one of the best defenses in the league
Early
year.
last year and fell off towards the end.
And now is that because Matthew Stafford is putting them, turning the ball over and putting them
We
in,
said defense,
in opportune
though, not
decisions.
the quarterback.
When you put your defense in first and 10 on the 50-yard line, you're not putting your guys in a good position. So
I got you.
and Ndamukong Suh is worth every penny.
I agree.
Now, can those other guys around him and can the management really get some weapons around Tannehill, or is he your starting quarterback? Is Mike Wallace deserving
you also
of his
have
contract?
who's
there's other
dude on the
factors.
end?
Doesn't matter what name you're about to throw out. I'm telling you.
But you have
Miami
him
is
in the
not
middle,
going to
and you have the
compete.
big guy on the end.
You have Cameron Wake. You talking about
Cameron Wake.
Yeah,
Yes, Cameron Wake on the
and
end.
Deion Jordan from
Deion,
Oregon,
well, I mean,
who needs
he-
to justify his number 3 selection.
Exactly.
Ooh,
I would agree. I would
He
agree.
does, he does.
He needs to
But
come in
I
and
agree.
play a great
I
fucking
agree.
year to justify that. And I
And
think maybe this year will be
and
that.
speaking of Oregon, a standout from there.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Philly?
Let's
Can we
do it.
talk about
Thank
a
you.
standout
Let's go.
from
Let's
Oregon?
talk
Can we
about
talk
Chip
about the
Kelly.
coach?
Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about the moves that are being made that plenty of people are questioning.
We just talked to a gentleman from Philly,
Yeah.
like questioning that down in
He was heated.
Kelly's.
Kelly's Olympian. Shout
That's-
out to the fam. Kelly's
Always
Olympian.
shout out to them.
Always keeping us also hydrated.
Hydrated.
You can always
On
get
that
good sports
bourbon
talk
front.
down there because they always have the Blazers games on. It's a good spot to be at.
Yeah, that's right, that's
and the
right.
fact of the matter is, you got rid of in the last 2 years. You got rid of Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
Jeremy Maclin.
Yep.
And Shady LaShawn McCoy.
Ugh.
Like seriously, a guy
Yeah.
who's led the league in rushing. 2 years prior,
over 1,000
And,
yards in the NFL.
He does his thing. Like Shady is in the prime of his career, and you got rid of this guy.
Whoa.
It's so.
But you're in
Prime, he's
Oregon.
26
You're
years
dealing
old.
with Chip Kelly fans here. So
Are you disputing Shady? Would you trade Shady McCoy
Jake,
at
I
26?
would say that he had a bad year last year, and if you would not say that, then you would.
I
not be
drafted
watching
him
the
number
games.
1 in my fantasy
So
team.
did I.
He had a bad
hurt
year.
me. Yeah.
He still ended up with
Ooh,
13,
so Jake's a little
1,300
hostile.
No,
yards.
I'm not saying that I have anything against the dude. I'm just saying what he did was not what he did the year before.
And-
he dropped down on his numbers, and you can't blame that on Chip McCoy. He had him going up the middle. Could not break a run for his life up the middle.
Shady dances a lot, but a lot like. And one of the reasons that goes into the whole mental mind of Chip
Yeah,
Kelly,
yeah.
you know, he wants to have his vision,
I got
have
you.
all of his players.
Yep.
He let go of Jeremy Maclin.
He did.
He let him go to Kansas City, even though they wanted him back. He's getting all of his players in there. But the fact that the matter is with Chip Kelly, you know, he brought in Darren Sproles.
He did.
And
He
he
did.
took a lot of those opportunities from Shady because Sproles is he's north-south runner, just hits the hole. I'm out of
He
here.
fits Chip's offense.
Thank
LaShawn
you.
McCoy,
Exactly.
he dances, and that's why
We don't
Philly
need a
signed
dancer.
Frank
Chip don't
Gore.
need a
He's
dancer.
having
trying
second
to,
thoughts,
yeah.
but Frank Gore hits the hole.
Yeah,
So, like,
Frank
he
is
fits-
also north to south. What you're talking
he
about,
fits
another
their
possible
offense.
Philly move.
I'll tell you
coming
right
out
now,
of my
if-
town, San Francisco, who's making a lot of moves as well. But there's rumors. We're just waiting for the sign that Frank Gore will be leaving San Francisco to sign with Philadelphia. Jake, what you got for
What are you
me?
gonna say,
If
Hammer?
Philly gets Frank Gore, I think Frank Gore will have one of the better years that he's ever had.
I agree.
He
I feel like he will dominate the running back position, obviously, because he's coming into play.
Yep.
But having Sproles run around
Right there as well. Yeah.
will
That's
give
filthy.
him
Sproles and Gore.
2 to 4 more yards
my goodness.
on every down.
I just let
agree.
me throw this out there too, because the fact they said that he's the most successful back running out of the shotgun
Yep.
last year.
Yep.
And that's what Philly does. They run out of the shotgun.
That's
They spread
ultimately,
offense.
yeah,
That's
what
Chip
they will
Kelly
do.
off.
He fits
offense,
it.
yeah.
He fits it perfect. I don't know if he really trusts Chip Kelly because he's getting rid
In
of
time.
a lot of these talented players. We don't really know what to expect from Chip Kelly. But Frank Gore needs to be in that locker room as a leader. 'Cause
Kelly's
they lost a lot of
montage
guys.
is build a great defense, get a good quarterback, and
Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota,
Which we might see some moves made
is what you're
for.
looking for. But it's also like, look what he did. I mean, it's college football. Look what he did at Oregon with subpar receivers. You know, he did
Very
great
true.
with subpar receivers. The only thing that I kind of disagree with what he's doing and how McCoy left was that he always had a great running back. Right.
Agreed.
Now he has to find that great running back.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I don't know if Gore's the guy, but he could be. He got Sproles. You know, I don't know.
No,
we rave about like the points that Chip put up, and you think it's with the pass game, but the fact of the matter is,
It's all running.
Everything was set up by the running game,
and it's a good
they
transition.
might get the best running quarterback in the league.
While we're talking
Colin
about
Kaepernick, he might be getting traded.
While we're talking about
he might be getting
San Francisco,
traded.
while we're talking about Frank Gore, let's keep it on San
I never
Francisco.
thought about that.
Colin Kaepernick, it's just rumors, and you're gonna have some extremely upset fans if this is anything more than rumors, but it's strong rumors. Colin Kaepernick, there's some chatter.
He might go to Philly or Chicago.
That's right.
Think about this: if they do not get Marcus Mariota, Colin Kaepernick is your next best bet.
Who was everybody comparing Mariota to the entire season?
Wow, I never thought about that till now.
Who was the entire season? Who was everyone comparing Mariota's game to?
Damn. Sorry, Bryce.
Colin Kaepernick.
I'd take.
You might be losing your dude.
It's not about losing my dude. I've acknowledged this. I even admitted this, that Colin Kaepernick, the baseball background,
Anwar.
the power behind the arm.
Once NFL starts, Bryce is going to be an Eagles fan.
He is.
Watch this.
Nah, I'm going to be a Niners fan forever. Don't worry. But of course, I'm always going to show
I'll
love
root
to
Eagles.
Chip
I'll root
Kelly
Eagles, yeah.
and the Eagles because, of course, go Ducks.
A running thing with this season has been the fact that we've talked about Jim Harbaugh and his beef with management. Yeah. And now they have their guy in. He was a former he's a defensive coordinator, I think, with the team. And so now they got the guy, and now they're going to build their vision. Yeah. And the fact that you had guys that rode with Jim Harbaugh, from Frank Gore to Patrick Willis, who all-time great linebacker, just retired. He probably would have won another year for Jim Harbaugh. You know, Crabtree, he's gonna be gone. They're losing player after player. They might lose Cat. Like the whole identity of this team
don't see that happening,
is changing. And why would you do this 360 turn
because
when you
your
guys were a couple plays
stupid.
away from winning a championship and having rings?
Your management doesn't know what they're doing.
And I'm looking at my squad because we just got rid of Brandon Marshall to the Jets, so he can be closer to inside the NFL. You know, bear down all day. But we've never had wide receiver. That's the best wide receiver we've ever had since I've been a Bears fan in my life. And
he's gone.
And the fact you traded this guy,
you ain't bearing down.
Brandon Marshall, and I gotta say this because the fact of the matter is Brandon Marshall, they were throwing his name out there, and he was bad in the locker room and all that because he criticized Cutler because he's been a bum. But
because he spoke the truth.
That's the truth.
Dude, I agree with you. I'm on your side.
This guy has done so much.
Chicago messed up.
He has done so much.
And one of your diehard fans agrees with you. We got to take a quick break here on Rose City Sports Talk.
Marshall?
No, you can't.
All the stuff he's done for mental
gonna
health
go raging
is
into the break. But be sure to
commendable.
check us out. RoseCitySportsTalk.com. We will be right back.
Brandon Marshall. You know, stop putting his name in the with that. Hey, I think he needs to be commended.
Cheers.
Shout out to that.
And pour a little out because your team's done. Your team's done.
Jesus.
That's a good dude right there, man. He turned around his career. Stop having them.
All right. Welcome back to Rose City Sports Talk. Bryce Trost.
I'm telling you.
Pissed off Anwar Jones.
I'm mad. Because I don't like how something can change and like the rhetoric on them just remains the same.
Jake the Hammer Hummel. Say hello, Jake.
I don't like what you're talking about, Brandon Marshall right now.
The Brandon Marshall that punted the ball when he was over in Denver during training camp is not the same guy as the guy that's
before we take a break here on Rose City Sports Talk. We were talking about some of the trade moves within the NFL. It's been crazy. We were talking Philly. We were talking San Francisco. We ended it with a little Chicago talk.
I don't know how we got there.
Let's transition.
Forget your Vikings.
It's the last segment of the night.
Bro, you
want to
talk some Vikings?
No,
Adrian Peterson, hope he leaves the Vikings.
It's the last segment here at Rose City Sports Talk. So, of course, we're going to jump back into NFL.
Fired.
We're going to talk a little bit about... Actually, I got 3 names that we could throw out right now.
You better say the right ones.
That I know
You better
both
say the
these
right
fellows here will get heated. See, everybody stop talking about NFL.
Yeah,
They got
MVP.
really focused. Okay, we're
There's
talking
only 3
MVP
names.
conversation. We got just a few minutes left on the show. So,
Say
of
'em,
course, we
say
got to
'em.
make it right. So, here in my mind is the 3 names, the only 3 names that
One of
should
them
be,
is not going to be right.
should be in the
I think he's gonna
Yeah,
mess
one
up.
of them is not
I
going to be
really
right.
think he is.
Okay.
That's why I'm waiting.
So, here we go. Number 1, Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Yep.
He's number 1.
Number 1 because of what he's doing.
How is he not? How is he not?
currently, Russell Westbrook.
See, this is what I don't. This is why I don't agree with you because you're going to
What?
say
Hold on.
You said number
This-
1,
yeah.
Russell Westbrook?
I know. It's not
Yo.
right. It's not right. But it's only because
we converted him.
it is exactly right, but
you didn't
him
convert
saying
me.
it is
Number
weird.
2.
It's weird.
Number two, not number 1. Definitely not number 1, but number 2 on the MVP, at least
I'm shocked.
mine. I should say James Harden, obviously. James Harden doing work here in the last couple of weeks. Jake's gonna argue that he doesn't deserve to be in the top
No, because you don't.
3. And any other day other than the last 8 to 10 day window, I would argue that with you.
Has
But
Bryce been listening to me? Like, what?
third name in the MVP race. Third name, the obvious Steph Curry, which
Okay.
plenty would argue would be in the top of the MVP race.
You've grown, Bryce.
Yeah, I've
you've
grown.
grown.
I'm so
But
proud.
the fourth,
Yeah, just say it.
And the fourth and final. You want to give me a little cheers because I
I
threw Curry in there?
do.
Shout out to Steph
Pour a
Curry,
little
Splash
record,
Brothers.
too.
How would you not throw Curry in
Oh
there?
my goodness.
But number 4, you can't argue. Simply because when you look at the plus and
So
minus
proud.
and everything else like steals and just his overall impression on the game.
Oh my God, don't
LeBron
convince us, just say his name.
Come on.
Number
I mean,
4,
jeez, he's-
LeBron James
Come on.
is definitely in the MVP
Like
conversation.
I was almost a proud pappy until you had to go on your little soliloquy about LeBron James. You had to get
That's
big him
it.
up.
I'm
Yeah. Bryce is going to leave now and let the real people talk.
You know, I thought that going into this MVP, I thought I was gonna get real riled up because Bryce was gonna talk about LeBron James
So
at
did I.
number
No,
1.
did I. So did I.
Like,
We got 3 minutes for you guys to agree with me. We got 3 minutes literally for you guys to agree with me. So,
I mean,
do you have any other names? Honestly, do you have any other names?
Who is? Because I think you had somebody different from who's your MVP?
No.
Jake, do you not have Westbrook, Harden, Curry, or LeBron in your top?
He used to
let's say
have
4?
Curry.
No. I have exactly your
Okay.
top 4 in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
My only question is, and he actually started out with my number 1. That's why I think maybe you were laughing because I was Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
The way that he
I'm
has
seriously shocked he
played,
said
yeah,
that.
the way that he has played in this last month, there.
The last month,
you looked at
yes.
you looked at the stats. It's 50 years. Him and Michael Jordan have only done this.
I know.
That's
I know.
crazy.
That's
And
why
and
you see me putting him in there. You know, it's not
You have
easy
to.
for me to put him in there. But yes, no,
Yeah.
I'm acknowledging.
You know-
Russell Westbrook has removed his large head from his
Replaced it with a plastic
rectal area.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
it has translated into not just triple doubles, but triple doubles with a couple wins here and there as well.
Can I say this?
Whatever.
Because I mean,
Whoop-de-doo.
it is March 9th.
82 games.
It is
No.
March 9th, and we love hip hop. So R.I.P. to Biggie Smalls.
Yep.
And when he said West Beef and came in like ha 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 ha, check out this was like all that. I don't think he was talking about Steve Kerr and Daryl Morey having beef. Like, I don't really want to see those guys having beef in the media, talking about who should be MVP with Harden and Curry. Like, we have other important things to do, Kerr said, than worrying about going on a campaign for MVP.
Amen
but
to that.
that's essentially throwing out a campaign for your guy too, just in a Tai Chi type of way, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Wax
Here's my
on,
only
wax
reason-
off type of way.
I mean, who are you taking?
I'm taking,
Give it to us.
And I say that with like, you guys have to campaign
I'll let you
because Russell Westbrook
I agree
is
right
stealing
now.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Like,
agreeing.
Like,
Yeah, you two agree.
This is the first time.
And I'm partially agreeing with you. It's weird to end a show on an actually
It is.
But this
agreeing
is-
note. Doesn't feel right.
This
Doesn't feel right at all.
this is what's right, and then what needs to happen with MVP vote for once. Can we just have a consensus? Like when we watch basketball,
Not
you
gonna
know,
happen.
you like this guy. You didn't like
You
Russ
watch
going
him?
into this.
No, we used
He
to talk
hates
shit
Russ.
about him.
I talk shit about Russ. Russ
We know
has
now.
everything that we
Yeah.
complained about him.
Yep.
He's changed. He's became a
No,
great point
Bryce,
guard.
you can't say this now.
He's became a great point guard. He's dynamic in pick and roll
Okay.
situations. Ennis Canner has been benefiting off of him, feeding him. Anthony Morrow's going to look good. When he makes Kevin Durant better, it's going to be insane. He's the hands down MVP, Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Let's end this conversation right now. He's the best player in the league.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
All right.
Cheers to Russell.
Little pyramid, little Breakside. I cheers to that. I'll sip to that.
I'll sip to that too. We've converted Bryce. I never thought I'd see the day.
Not
never
true,
thought I'd
not
see the
true.
day when he would give shout out to Russell Westbrook. That's insane.
But as weird as it is,
That's why I threw down the
that
chair.
is going to do it here for us tonight at Rose City Sports Talk from Greenluck Media Group here in Portland, Oregon. Bryce Trost, Anwar Jones,
What's we in here?
Jake the Hammer Hummel.
I love you, Portland.
Thank you. And of course, we want to give much love to our visual supervisor, Dylan Andrews.
Dylan, and
This
Dylan.
has been Rose City Sports Talk. Check us out,
He forms the vote
rosecitysportstalk.com. Good night.